At the beginning of the story, we are introduced to a man named Jason, who is now a soldier in the United States Special Forces. He was part of a special military operation that took place in Afghanistan. During the mission, his armored vehicle was ambushed. Jason was the only survivor. He witnessed all of his teammates being killed right before his eyes. The incident filled him with intense anger, and he became determined to avenge his fallen friends. In his rage, he carried out a deadly shooting and killed 5 innocent people, mistakenly believing they were involved in the ambush. The shocking event was recorded by military drones. As a result, Jason faced a military court case. However, during his treatment and psychological evaluation, he managed to escape custody. A year later, Jason is struggling with severe PTSD. He constantly feels guilty, haunted by the belief that he committed an unforgivable crime. He now lives on the streets of the city, drinking heavily to numb his pain. During this time, he forms a connection with a homeless girl named Isabella. The two begin looking out for each other and caring for one another. One day, 2 thieves approach them and demand money. Isabella tells Jason not to fight, urging him to stay calm. But the men attempt to assault her. Jason immediately starts fighting them. In the chaos, Isabella runs away. Jason continues fighting with everything he has until he manages to escape from the building they were in. While running, he notices an open window and enters the house through it. He successfully escapes, but Isabella is captured by the criminals. Inside the house, Jason looks at himself in the mirror and is shocked by his rough and broken appearance. He decides to clean himself up. He shaves his hair and puts on expensive clothes he finds inside the house. Suddenly, he looks like a completely different man, well-dressed and presentable. Just before leaving, the house phone rings. The message reveals that the owner will not return until October. It is currently February. Jason realizes he now has a safe place to live for the next 8 months. He also finds the owner's credit card and goes to the bank to withdraw a large amount of money, hoping to start a new life. But despite everything, his past actions continue to haunt his mind. He falls back into drinking. He continues searching for Isabella. Drunk and desperate, Jason approaches a street vendor named Tina. Tina is a church girl. She tells him she hasn't seen Isabella. She also suspects Jason of joining some kind of criminal organization because of his new appearance. Jason explains that the clothes were simply a gift. He gives Tina 500 pounds and tells her, "If you see Isabella, tell her to come find me." Tina desperately needed that money. She works at a church and hopes to attend an international church gathering, but the ticket costs 500 pounds, an amount she could not afford. Meanwhile, Jason's condition worsens. He is suffering from a broken rib and internal pain. Because he is a fugitive wanted by the military, he cannot go to a hospital. He turns to Tina for help. She brings him antibiotics and tells him she still hasn't found any information about Isabella. Jason gives Tina his phone, asking her to contact him if Isabella appears. When he returns home, he feels ashamed of himself. He pours out all the alcohol in the house. He begins driving the luxury car that belongs to the homeowner. He even writes his phone number across different areas of the streets, hoping Isabella will see it. Then he receives a message from Isabella. She tells him to stop looking for her. She says she is now working with a criminal group and wants to earn money. Jason doesn't believe her. He feels she is being forced. Not knowing where everything went wrong, Jason decides to rebuild his life. He starts exercising and searches for work. He begins working at an Asian restaurant. He takes on 2 jobs at once to survive. One day, gang members attempt to harass the restaurant. Jason fiercely fights them off. The restaurant owner witnesses everything and realizes Jason is not an ordinary man. His incredible loyalty and courage impress them, and he is introduced to higher management. The manager says Jason doesn't belong in the kitchen and offers him another job, working for a man named Master Joy. Master Joy needs a driver and someone to handle illegal operations. Jason accepts the offer because he needs money. He begins working closely with Master Joy and soon starts earning a significant income. Instead of saving the money for himself, Jason plans to give it to his ex-wife and his young daughter, Anna. However, he feels ashamed to face them. He continues working hard and regularly donates food to the homeless. Eventually, Jason gathers the courage to visit his ex-wife. When she sees him, she becomes upset and starts yelling while crying. Jason tells her he is ready to change and be responsible again. He gives her a large amount of money to help her rebuild her life. Days later, Tina discovers something devastating. She learns that Isabella has died. She shows Jason photographs as proof. Isabella's body was brutally abused. Tina explains that Isabella had been assaulted. Jason becomes enraged and begins destroying everything around him. He tracks down the same men who attacked them on that first night. He interrogates them about Isabella's kidnapping. They attack him, but Jason brutally overpowers them, even breaking their arms and legs. Eventually, he learns who is truly responsible for Isabella's death. Tina helps him track down that man. Jason brings Tina red flowers as a gift, and they attend an event together. He is amazed by how beautiful she looks. Their real purpose is to gather information about the man they are searching for. Later that night, Tina becomes drunk and nearly falls. Jason catches her, and this moment brings them closer. Tina feels shy and leaves shortly after. Jason discovers that the man he is searching for is named Joe. He visits one of Joe's restaurants and questions the men there about his whereabouts. A violent fight breaks out, but they still don't reveal Joe's location. Meanwhile, Tina reports Isabella's case to the authorities. The police investigate, but they lose interest when they discover Isabella had been involved in sex work. Tina explains Isabella's tragic past. She once dreamed of competing professionally in swimming and was incredibly talented. However, her coach abused her repeatedly. Because of the trauma, she quit swimming and eventually ended up homeless. Since she was underage at the time, she was sent to the church to help reform her life, but the trauma from that abuse ultimately destroyed her future. Later, Tina requests a transfer to Africa until October. Jason continues searching for answers. The two meet one final time. Jason asks Tina to take photos of him, saying this may be their last meeting. She takes several pictures so he can send them to his daughter and ex-wife. Tina is happy about his positive change and tells him she is leaving for Africa. Jason feels deep sadness but advises her to follow her dreams. They decide to meet one last time at his house. But suddenly, the homeowner returns unexpectedly. Jason has no choice but to send Tina away. They agree to part at 7 p.m. At the agreed time, Jason visits his ex-wife's house. His daughter opens the door but does not recognize him. He hands her a letter with his photograph inside. He gives all the money he earned to his ex-wife and daughter. For his final mission, Jason hunts down the man responsible for Bella's death, the one who killed her. He confronts and kills him. After that, Jason returns to being homeless once again. He goes back to drinking on the streets. Tina visits him one last time and gives him a warm hug. Jason confesses that he can never forget the 5 innocent people he killed in Afghanistan. That guilt is what drives him to drink. Eventually, Tina leaves for Africa. She leaves behind the clothes Jason had gifted her. She later receives a letter from him containing his photo and a farewell message. In the letter, he promises that he will not return to the violent life he once lived. And that is where the story ends. See you in the next episode. Thank you for watching.